This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Do you know the difference between a good realtor and a great realtor? Hello, my name is Johnny Jennings. You're listening to the Made for More Living podcast, and we have Halley here with us today. Halley Bulger, she's also on the Made for More team. So good realtors know other great realtors, same as a dentist will know other great dentists, same as a mechanic knows other great mechanics, because there are specific tells. Halley, what is something that stands out to you as a red flag when interviewing or talking with other realtors?
Red flag. I would say an agent, number one, that I call and she doesn't have a voicemail box set up is one red flag.
What is that message you get? Sorry, but this mailbox has not been set up yet.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing you can do.
No.
Can't leave a message.
That is a red flag.
Yeah.
Or if the mailbox is for something else.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is Steve's mom. Thanks for calling.
Or if the message says this mailbox is full. Right?
Yes.
Sorry, you cannot leave a message. This mailbox is full.
That could also
that means
be a
they
great...
haven't checked their messages. They're not keeping track. To me, that would be a red flag.
That could actually be a great realtor.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are just blown up.
That's true.
Then you better get an assistant.
It seems like you would want to check your inbox and make sure it's clean because you want to be able to make sure you're getting messages from your clients and your vendors or whoever, right? Because if it's full, then you're not getting those messages.
What I'm looking for is intentionality. So I know one guy, he makes a boatload of money. And his voicemail is actually, he's a real estate agent, and his voicemail is actually like, hey guys, I'm so busy. If you want to get a hold of me, shoot me a text because my voicemail is always full.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know? So I'm looking for intentionality there.
But that's a smart message.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, as opposed
Yeah.
to just getting to the message and saying, sorry, there's nothing you can do. Their mailbox is full.
Yep.
Yeah. It could be a double-edged sword, too, because a lot of people complain that we're not good at communication skills. And so if you can't get a hold of your agent, that might be a red flag too. Like, does she have another job? Is this her full-time job? How serious is she about this job? So those are kind of little red flags for me. Also, when I'm prospecting, if I have a listing and I'm calling the agent and they're answering the phone and they're like, sorry, I'm at my other job right now. And I'm all, oh, okay, so this isn't your full-time job. And then I'll be like, and you actually have a buyer that's looking in this area. They're like, wait a second, who? Oh, I don't, do I? Like, they're questioning me whether I know it or not. I'm like, it's your buyer, you tell me.
So for context here, we're going into one of the things that I think makes a great realtor, and that is actually proactively marketing. Rather than waiting for your phone to call, what Halley is doing is she has a client who is looking for a home in a specific area, or she has a seller and she's doing what's called reverse prospecting. It's something that agents can do in the MLS where they can put in their property that is listed, and they can actually see, hey, here are some agents who have some clients that might be interested in this property. And so rather than waiting for her phone to ring, she is ringing up other realtors saying, hey, is your buyer still interested in a property like this? Are they still on the market? And the red flag that Halley's talking about is when she does that and they're like, who are you talking about? I'm not working with anybody.
Yeah, half
right
of
now.
them don't even honestly know. I think they just set it up and kind of leave it and hope and pray that their client's going to call them up and be like, I saw this listing that you sent me. And then they, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me go check in on it, you know, and so that's a major red flag, I think, for agents too. This perspective of, you know, just set them up on a portal and let it, you know, work itself out.
Let
you
it
know,
do the work. That's not what we're paid to do. Another red flag that I typically see is lack of knowledge, both about themselves and their experience, and about the market in general. When we go on listing appointments, there's typically a number of things that we go over with them. One of them is like, how much months of inventory is there in this zip code? What's the sales price to list price? How many days on market are normal? How much has the average price increased over the last year or so? And if your realtor isn't able to answer that stuff, or at least doesn't come prepared with that information, because a good realtor is going on appointments all the time, right? And so they probably can't have every zip code memorized from month to month to month to month to month. That would be unrealistic. But if they can answer your questions, if they know their sales price to list price, if they know their average days on market, then that's somebody who's a professional that has spent some time crafting like their presentation and spent some time preparing to interact with you. But if
Yeah.
they come, let me find out. Let me get some answers for that.
I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you.
In next week.
If they get back to you. So those are some other red flags. But Haley, what I really appreciate about you is, one, how you are always, you're like a hungry dog on the back of a meat truck. You are always on the hunt for your clients, and you find them off-market deals, and you find your sellers, buyers who, honestly, you're doing the other agent's job for them. What are some other things that I guess the question would be, what do you want your clients to experience when they work with you?
I just want them to know when I take the listing, like I'm not just leaving them, for them to get everything ready. So from start to finish, I'm interacting with them, whether it's, okay, where do we go from here? Do we need to get rid of this? Do we need to stage the home? Should we get a pod and move out half of our stuff? And I'm all, yes, please do that. But I also, I go out there and kind of talk to other agents as well to get, marketability on this property. Because each property that I go on listing appointments, none of them are the cookie cutter. None of them are the same. So
yeah, because you specialize more like foothills, right?
Yeah. So, and you'll go, one house is very cookie cutter, whereas the other house, it's multiple dwellings, or it's got an outbuilding that wasn't permitted, and then the county's like asking me questions about it. I'm like, I don't know the answer to this, so we got to figure this out. So really just understanding each property is a little bit different, but then going to the agents and saying, hey, how desirable is this property? What do you think after I took pictures of it, just the way it stands? How do you think my pricing is? And just to get their feedback, because these agents have the buyers that are probably going to be making the offer on my house. So I want to get their opinion because they're out showing multiple homes, and it's great feedback, but it's also third-party validation. So they're hearing it not just from me, they're hearing it from other people that are working in the community.
Oh my gosh, Haley, I'm about ready to come unglued from this chair right now. I hope realtors are listening to this, and I hope clients are listening to this, because you just breezed over it like it's something every agent does, and you're probably one of a handful of agents in the Sacramento region who does this. As soon as you have a listing and as soon as you have the photos, before the listing even hits the market, you're saying, hey, this is the price we're thinking about coming to the market with. What are your thoughts? That's what you said, right?
Yep,
and so you're going to other realtors. The benefit to the client is she is proactively marketing this property. That's the benefit to the client, is this house is getting more exposure than it would with a typical realtor before it even hits the market. That's thing number one. Thing number two is Haley is reaching out and making sure that everything is right about this listing before it goes live. Because as soon as it goes live, the clock starts ticking. And you have about 10 days of really massive exposure before that home starts becoming invisible. So if the pricing's wrong, if any of the photos are a little weird, then you're going to burn up those days before you make an adjustment. So before Haley even comes on the market, she's making sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So I just want to give you kudos on that, Haley.
Yeah, and inspections too. I used to get a lot of people that would be like, why would we want to do that now? And honestly, I can't tell you how many times it's saved deals by getting everything done up front. Yeah, it's $165 for the pest, but it might be able to save a deal and time and keep everything smooth so my clients aren't running around with their head, like a chicken with their head cut off, and they can just breathe, through the transaction. Because you meet a lot of people and you'll ask their opinion on the last sale they did, and you realize, gosh, that was really stressful for them. And I don't want that to be the experience with my client ever, where they honestly want to not list their house anymore because the anxiety build up. And,
oh my gosh, yep. So many people are like, it's not about the interest rate. It's not even about the price. They just don't want to deal with the hassle of moving.
Yeah.
It is a huge,
it's very
thing.
taxing on people, especially if you have kids, you're in the middle of school. Every time you turn around, there's a holiday, a birthday party, a cousin out of nowhere. It's got an event, and you're like, okay, scrambling to get stuff done and waking up Saturday morning and have things to do with your family, and instead you're getting your house all ready to show. So I understand that, it's a lot of work for people. So I try to take that burden off of their shoulder and get to that point where it's going to be smooth, and let's get an offer within the first couple days and have everything transparent and upfront. Because I think that's a lot of what buyers, get into purchasing a large house, and they want to know that this house is sound. It's good. Like, we're not going to have major problems, and they're going to be calling me. I'm going to do my 3-month checkup with them, and they're going to be like, yeah, this house is falling apart. Thanks for selling it to me.
Yep. Like staging is one thing, but the pre-list inspections are almost like staging for the house, for the buyer's peace of mind.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and the seller's going to typically net more money if they do that pre-list inspection. And just imagine if you are thinking about selling your house, or if you have sold a house, you've gone through this process where you're wondering, it's almost like you're holding your breath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's going to come up?
What's going to happen? Are they going to like the home? What's the price going to be? Are they going to request any repairs? Like, you're holding your breath throughout this whole process. And if you get the inspections done up front, you can breathe easy, rest easy, and be like, hey, this is what the house is worth. This is what the inspection report said. What do you think?
And vice versa. It's easier, too, for the buyer to come in and maybe be a little bit more aggressive on their offer, or offer a little bit more because they see that added security of, oh, they already took care of this issue, or the roof leak's taken care of, or the termites have been taken care of, whatever it might be. It just kind of eases them, and then they are willing to actually pay a little bit more for
pay
that.
A premium. Absolutely. So we talked about, what makes like red flags with bad realtors, and something that I see is people don't really understand. Like, they give realtors a hard time, but anybody who's been around a realtor or has a family member who's a realtor, like your husband can probably speak to this, your kids can probably speak to this. Like, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work. And people think, okay, I work a lot. I'm not saying you don't. This isn't like a I work harder than you conversation. This is just, I think, a misperception on how hard realtors really do work. And that's one of the things I think clients appreciate about you, Halley, and that's something certainly Valerie and I appreciate about you, is just your work ethic. You are a workhorse. We were just talking the other day how you started early in the morning, and then you were there till late in the afternoon working the phones trying to find your buyer a deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right?
But it paid off, because I think one day I called 112 agents, and I was like, I just got to power through this, And it was within the last 10 calls, I was like, can I do this? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a little break, get back on the phone. And lo and behold, that client that I'd reached out to that was thinking about buying a house, he's like, actually, if you have any land, my dad and I are looking to build a spec home. And I'm all, yeah, I am actually getting ready to list this property next week. And they wrote an offer last week on it, cash, and we're closing in 10 days. So
Boom.
It paid off.
There you go. Your hard work pays off. But in all that hard work, like what drives you? What motivates you in the morning?
Probably my family. Just being able to provide and take care of them. For a lot of years, I did real estate kind of, I would say I didn't treat it as my business, like I was the CEO, but I wasn't really showing up, and so now I show up, I take it very serious, because it is one of the largest transactions you're going to do. And I think having somebody knowledgeable and that's staying current in the market is really important. And, just, I forgot what I was talking about.
Just what
one of the
drives
keys,
you.
what motivates you to work hard and make 110 phone calls like that?
Oh, gosh. Okay. And also having a team. I think really the team aspect of having somebody hold you accountable, and just wanting to show up for them and collaborate together really drives you. Working alone for the first, 15 years in this industry was really taxing and hard. Like, there's a lot of things you don't see, or phone calls that don't go so well, that kind of mentally bring you down, and you just really need a team to build you up. And
love that.
To keep going, persevering.
That's actually what we're going to talk about next. The difference between where Halley was when she was struggling and, just having that hardship of, hey, I'm an island, I'm alone, to where she is now and the impact that has had on her business and her clients as well. Right? We'll be back right after this.
So if you're listening to today's show and you're thinking about putting your home on the market, but you have reservations because you don't have the time or the money to do those much needed projects to put your home up for sale, call up my friend Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves real estate team. They can help you get those projects done even if you don't have the time or the money. 855-TOM-DAVES is the phone number, or go to the website tomdaves.com, type in your address, find out what kind of offers you would get and how much you would get if you wanted a cash offer today, no matter what kind of condition your home is in. Again, the website is tomdaves.com, or call Johnny Jennings at 855-TOM-DAVES.